peach brandy. And one of the congregational members, named Joe, brought his minister, who happened to be a man. Every year he got a very large container of his favorite spirit, which was peach brandy. And so Christmas came, and the pastor was very happy to go visit this particular congregational member because he knew he was going to get a large container of peach brandy. So he arrives at the house, and the congregational member, Joe, says to him, well, I'm putting something on this that I would like to ask, kind of a, what would you call it? I'm trying to think of a word. Let me see if I can find it here. He is going to put on there a suggestion. And he would ask, this is what he did, he asked the minister to announce from the pulpit. Are you going to help me? All right, that's okay. So he's going to ask the minister, he said, I only have one request for the peach brandy this year. And that is that you announce it from the pulpit. So he wanted the minister to make an announcement that he was being supplied with peach brandy, right? So the minister had a very busy week, steps up to the podium that Sunday to announce and make this announcement. And he saw Joe, the congregational member, sitting right there in the chair with a big smile on his face, saying, what is the minister going to say? So this is what the minister said. The minister said, before I begin my sermon, I have an announcement to make. I would very much like to thank my friend Joe for his kind Christmas gift every year, for the gift of peaches, and for the spirit in which he gave it to me. So today we will look at the spirit of giving, and there's two components to that. The first one is the external component, or the outer component, and the next one, the other one, the second one, is the internal component, or that which is within us that we give. And so I want you to all take a big breath. Take a big breath. All right, bless you. And let's let it out. So what I'm going to do this morning is get a little bit in your face about this, because I think it's important to look at this. And you may have heard this. A minister's job is either to comfort the afflicted or to afflict the comfortable. So if you feel inspired by what I say, or if I really bother you or bugs you, say, oh, she bugs me, then I'm doing my job. Either way. Okay? And there was a family circus cartoon in the paper recently that really addressed what I'm going to share with you about the external part of giving. And Jeffy, I don't know if you've ever seen the family circus, Jeffy is looking through a toy box that is absolutely overflowing with presents. He has everything from all his past Christmases, from his birthday. So he's eyeing his toy box, and it's just full. It has, every kind of electronic device and toys and bears, and there's not even any room in his toy box. And so he's eyeing his toy box, and his sister Dolly looks at him and says, what are you doing, Jeffy? Why are you looking up and down at your toy box? He says, I'm taking inventory so I can make my new Christmas list. And so many of us have a lot of stuff. Anyone here have a lot of stuff? A lot of things everywhere. I realized when I moved here how much stuff I had, because then you have to carry it all with you, right? So I did a process of letting go of that. And I invite you today, if you have not seen the movie, it's a little 20-minute movie. It's very eye-opening. And it's called The Story of Stuff. And you can Google it. Very eye-opening, The Story of Stuff. So today, what I'm going to ask all of us to do is to really ask ourselves, do we really need more stuff, more external things? There is a group of individuals on the planet, and they are called Green Faith. And they are a nonprofit community, greenfaith.org, that offers support to all spiritual communities in becoming more conscious stewards of our planet. And so I'm going to share this with you with their quote. It's a beautiful saying here. I love it. It says, this particular website, you can look it up. No time of year is more emotional for us than this time, the holiday season, whether it's Hanukkah or whether it's Christmas. No time of year is more emotional than the holiday season, whether you're bursting with joy because you're making cookies. Who's making cookies? And wrapping presents and doing all the busyness, or you're stressed from shopping. Anyone ever get stressed from shopping? A couple of you, yes. One of you, okay, good for you. But even with all of those other factors weighing on your mind, it's possible to put a green spin on your holidays. Simple tips and easy substitutions mean that you can come through the season without leaving a huge carbon footprint. Start with your gift list, which means you can simply buy less things, or you can go green. Right here in this room, we had a gathering. It was called I think it was 10,000 villages, and they were here. I came and looked, and it was a wonderful way to buy products and things that offer assistance to others at the same time, and they offer products that are recycled, that are beautiful, necklaces made from Africa and other such things, journals and things. So you can look for recycled, they say, paper goods like cards and wrapping. Green your Christmas dinner with seasonal, local vegetables. It's think globally, but act locally, buy things locally. You can also use LED lights, which help save energy. But most importantly, keep in mind that the holidays are not about necessarily only the gifts, the outer gifts. It's not just about the outer gifts. It's about the errands or the wrapping or the busyness or the baking. It is celebrating and being conscious of your loved ones. And I have to say, for me, most of my family members have passed away. And so whenever it's the Christmas time of year, it brings up a little bit of sadness for me. And I know many of us have interesting families, don't we? Do we all have interesting families? They're kind of all over the map in what they do and how they celebrate. And what I have to say, what I know to be true for me, is that when it comes to the point when your family is gone, literally, you really miss them. You know, whatever they're like. I know someone was telling me their daughter was kind of prickly. Anyone have any prickly relatives? Kind of prickly? When they're gone, or if they're gone, you will miss them, believe me, because I do miss my family. It's like the man who was walking 1,000 miles, his feet hurt. He said, my feet are hurting, or my feet are hurting. And then he met a man that didn't have any. So you want to cherish your family, your friends, and to really be present with them. Here's a couple other ideas. Eco-friendly, non-toxic gifts that will leave no carbon footprint. You have the SPCA here, and recently they found horses and things that were being neglected, so you can support them with your time, with your energy, or with a donation. Did you know that according to researchers at the University of Oregon, that knowing that your money goes for a good cause, or that your teddy bears go for a good cause, actually causes you to create the hormones in your body that lift you, that inspire you, that bless you. So there is a blessing that happens when you are willing to give. It's actually provable scientifically. And here's an idea. You could also shop in our bookstore. That's a nice place to buy gifts. And what about a gift card? Someone gave me 2 gift cards recently to Starbucks. Thank you. What a lovely gift. So you want to buy locally and support our local restaurants and places. And finally, here's the last sort of outer green, wonderful way to express the holidays. It's my final, completely eco-friendly, easy to give, no wrapping required. It comes from the form of a little poem, so see how this feels for you. You may have heard this before, I love it. It has no moving parts, no batteries, no monthly payments, and no fees. It's inflation-proof, non-taxable. In fact, it's quite relaxable. It can't be stolen, it won't pollute. One size fits all, do not dilute. It uses little energy but yields results enormously. Relieves your tension and your stress, invigorates your happiness. Combats depression, makes you beam, and elevates your self-esteem. Your circulation, it corrects without unpleasant side effects. It is, I think, the perfect drug. This Christmas, my friends, give lots of hugs. So hug those people that are your friends, your family, and be totally conscious that you are in a relationship, in a connection with not only your family and your friends and your neighbors, but all of the world. We are all in this together. Did you know that? We're all on the planet together. We're all in this together. So those are just a few ideas of eco-friendly. And now for the internal portion. The exquisite Persian poet Khalil Gibran, he said this. He said, "You give but little when you give of your things. It is when you give of your heart, when you give of your time, your kindness, your presence, that you truly give." What children most want from us, they want us. They love, of course, getting presents, yeah, and teddy bears too. They really want you. Your time, your energy, your love. Dr. Holmes, our reading today, I absolutely love these words. I'll read them again after Ken. I love it. We should allow the gifts of life to flow out to everything we touch, everyone we meet, and every situation we come into contact with. Then wherever we go, in every situation, every person is helped, every discord is harmonized, without even being conscious of it, when we are the gift. So every one of us in this room, we are the gift. We are that. Here's another powerful example of a gift of self. And it has to do, well, I'm not going to tell you because that'll ruin the surprise. Okay, I want you to go back in time in your mind to 1938. How many of you had parents in the Great Depression? Yeah, a lot of us did. I did. My dad was raised in the Depression. So it was 1938, and there was a man named Robert L. May. He was depressed. Perhaps you know someone depressed. He was depressed. He was brokenhearted, and he stared out of his drafty apartment window into the chilling December night. His 4-year-old daughter, Barbara, sat on his lap, quietly sobbing. You see, Bob's wife, Evelyn, was dying. Little Barbara could not understand why her mommy couldn't come home, and she was never going to come home. Her sadness brought waves of grief to Bob, waves of grief, and also waves of anger. It had been the story of his entire life, he thought. Life had always been difficult for him. Small as a kid, Bob was often bullied. We're hearing lately lots about bullied individuals on the news. So he was bullied as a child. He was too little to play or compete in sports. He was often called names he'd rather not remember. And from childhood, he never seemed to fit in. He was always different, the odd one out, the odd boy out. But he did compete, and he did complete when he got to college. He was actually able to get through college, and he met the love of his life. Her name was Evelyn. They got married, and he was deeply and wonderfully happy for the first time in his life, but it was very short-lived. Not too long after they were married, him and his wife gave birth to a beautiful, I should say his wife gave birth, and he helped her, to a beautiful little girl named Barbara. And after just a few years, unfortunately, Evelyn began to make her transition, and she passed away just a few days before Christmas. And his little girl, Barbara, was just overwhelmed with this deep sadness, deep sadness. And he struggled and struggled. Even he could not afford even to buy her a present because of the illness his wife had. It used all of their money. So he had no money to buy his daughter even a Christmas present. Very sad. But he could write a story. And he had a story that he absolutely loved, and he shared it with little Barbara very often. And in this story, it was an animal character. See if you can guess who it is. It was an animal character at Christmas time. And it was actually the story, he said, of his life. So he told his little girl this story over and over. Can you guess who is an animated story at Christmas? Anyone want to guess? Oh, you guys are so smart. It's Rudolph. So he actually created this story. And he wrote it all out, and he would tell her, and each time he would embellish it and he'd make it better in his effort to cheer up little Barbara. And Montgomery Ward's, where he worked, he was a writer for them. He wrote and he printed and distributed items for them. They got wind of his story, and they published it. They actually took Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they published the story. And it sold 6 million copies. And in an incredible moment of great generosity, Montgomery Ward's gifted the rights to that book, because they had helped him publish it. They wanted him to be the total beneficiary. And so he received all of the blessings. So this was the inner gift that he shared with his daughter to comfort her, and it became this enormous blessing for his life. He eventually married, several years later, another woman, and his family began to grow. And there was a gentleman, actually a relative of his, that wanted, his brother-in-law, Johnny Marks, that wanted to take the book and make it into a song. And so he took the words, as you all know the words to this song, took the words, made it into a song, but it was turned down by Bing Crosby. Can you imagine? It was turned down by Diana Shore. But a very well-known cowboy named Gene Autry sang this song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it was published and released in 1949 and became the #1 Christmas song of that era. The gift that keeps on giving. So the gift of love that Bob gave to his young daughter, that gift, that Christmas, that he wrote that book, drew it out and gave it to her, became this gift that he gave that returned blessings to him over and over. Now, I didn't tell you this story to make you feel the sweetness of that, although it might have done that, and I certainly didn't share it to make you sniffle in case anyone, did anyone sniffle? A couple of you, yeah. Didn't do it for that reason. But to share with you the importance of being the gift, to allow this infinite spirit, the divine essence that is everywhere, that we are all individualized expressions of that. We are the gift. And so we're going to play that song right now. Rudolph, I want you all to stay seated and just sing that with me, because it's the wonderful song. You're going to play it? Here it comes. Let's sing it together. And then we'll come back and we'll do this closing. So let's all sing this together. You all know the words.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names.
our wonderful Therese to come up with her assistant, and you have to put your teddy bear down. Oh, you can bring them up, but they put them on the table. All right, Linda's got the teddy bears, and they're going to play the bowls. And we had this for our meditation. These beautiful bowls are a divine vibration. They're absolutely beautiful. And so I'm going to invite you just to close your eyes and to allow these bowls, as we do our closing time together, to really speak to you, to your heart, to allow the vibration. And I invite you to close your eyes if they're not closed already. And I want you to just take a moment and contemplate what it means, what it looks like, what it feels like to be the gift, that you are the gift. And so as you close your eyes, I invite you in your mind's eye to see the most beautiful gift right in front of you. This sitting right in front of you is the most beautiful gift you've ever seen. Perhaps it's wrapped in gold. Perhaps it sparkles and it shimmers. Perhaps the paper has a pattern or not. And maybe it's wrapped in that kind of material that seems translucent. But just imagine right in front of you is this beautiful wrapped gift, sparkling, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Maybe it has all the colors of the rainbow. But each of these gifts that we are imagining are so beautiful in their own way. Exquisitely beautiful. Because it represents the outer expression of the divine essence, spirit, whatever name you call it, God, the infinite, the creator. This gift represents that expression of the divine. And that infinite divine presence is everywhere. It fills all time and all space. It is the power that creates universe upon universe upon universe upon universe, forever expanding. And that same essence, that same power that created the cosmos and everything in it is the same power that is breathing you, the same power that is seeing with and through your eyes, the same power that you are hearing in these beautiful bowls. They remind me of bells, sacred bells. And so this gift in your mind's eye, this beautiful gift that you are envisioning, is the outer expression of the divine. And you are that gift. You are the beautifully wrapped gift of infinite love. You are that love. You represent or represent the divine, for you are the hands and you are the heart of God. But you are more than a shiny, pretty package. Because as beautiful as that gift is, the inside is even more beautiful. So take a moment right now and imagine in your mind's eye you are opening up this present, this beautiful package that you have imagined, this sparkling package. You're untying the ribbon and you're opening up the gift. And as you open up the gift, you notice that it is filled with love. It is the love of spirit. It is the energy of spirit. It is the power and the presence of the divine. It is the abundance, the kindness, the compassion, and the peace of God itself inside this beautiful package. And you deeply recognize this gift as you, inside and outside. You are the gift. You are the gift. You are this season's greatest gift. You. Your heart, your love, your creativity, your sweet, sacred, holy presence. You. The gift here, now, and always. You are the gift of love, and you are the one that you have been looking for. The infinite loving essence. You are the gift. Once again, deeply knowing that you are that gift of kindness, of compassion, of love, of beauty, of joy, of patience, of peace. You are the gift this holiday season. And so just very gently bringing your awareness of that, knowing that the inner and outer beauty is you. That you are that. Very gently bring your awareness from that knowingness back into the room, embodying, knowing that you are the gift, the giver and the receiver of divine love. And everywhere you go, this season, you bring yourself as the gift. You give your time, your love, your conscious awareness to every person, every situation, every event, from wrapping gifts to baking cookies to visiting relatives to singing Christmas songs. You bring your conscious awareness of you as love to everything, and the world is made new by means of you. And so in gratitude, I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we say together, and so it is.